Previously on Vida Gypsea, we tried to do a Q&A which turned into a major flop. So let's give this Q&A one more try. It is a great day today for a Q&A. You guys got questions, we've got some answers, and we are going to try to multitask by answering all of the questions that you guys submitted and sailing onto our next anchorage all at the same time. So, let's do it! Okay, so let's try this one more time. The winds are good. We're not so noisy. Kurt's still alive.
Still here, still kicking, a little bit sore.
We're awake and we're ready to answer your questions. This is not your average Q&A, but we're gonna give it our best go. Thank you, by the way, everyone who has submitted questions. We found the best questions that we could find. There were so many. We were surprised at the feedback that we got back from everybody. So thank you so much for submitting all your questions. And question number one is from Cat Hack with a Q at the end. And they ask, so I think you guys work remotely. What do you do? Also, do you have a mortgage for the boat? Two totally different questions, but I'll take the first one, you can do the second one.
Right.
So we do the YouTube, but primarily our main source of income comes from this gal right here. I teach English remotely on a platform called Preply. We made an episode about it, all about it, how you can sign up for it, how the ins and outs are, what you get paid and all that stuff. I'll leave a link in the description below, but that's how we make our money. That's our grocery money and our expense money. We also have some investments and things. Right.
She makes the active income. We still have quite a bit of passive income that comes in from investments that we have saved over the years. And that brings us to the second part of the question. Do we have a mortgage on this boat? And no, we do not have a mortgage on the boat. When we sold our home in Panama, we used that money to purchase this boat. And so we were able to kind of flop it right on into this investment, and we were able to pay cash for this boat and not have that mortgage weighing us down every month. So that does make life a lot easier when you're out here and you don't have that big note every month to worry about. Right. So recap: we do have jobs. We're not just sitting here floating around, but we are quite fortunate that we don't have a mortgage that we have to pay. But we do have other expenses like the maintenance of the boat and the boat insurance, which is almost like a mortgage. Boats aren't cheap.
That's not cheap. So I'm not quitting my day job anytime soon. The next question comes from Helen_forever living, and she asks, how much sleep do you get when you do overnights, and do you ever get scared? Very good question, Helen. I get scared all the time about literally anything and everything. So yes, even though we've done a few overnight passages, you still get that fear that you may not see the next day, but it makes it all the better when the sun comes up. But I'll let you explain our overnight shift.
Well, typically we break up an overnight into 12 hours. And so, you know, let's say we go to bed at 8 and then it'll, in the evening, and the overnight will end at 8 in the morning. So we've got a 12-hour shift, and we break it up into 3-hour segments. So we each take 3 hours, then 3 hours of sleep, 3 hours watch, 3 hours of sleep. So in theory, you get 6 hours of sleep overnight. And then, you know, when the next day, if you need to take a nap, you can catch up on some sleep. So in theory, you're gonna get 6 hours. It doesn't always work out that way because sometimes the sea state's rough and it's hard to get to sleep.
Yeah, or something's happening on the boat where one of us needs the other person to wake up because of something. So.
Right. So sometimes we get woken up in the middle of the night. So, but overall, we typically get about 6 hours of sleep, and it's enough. 6 hours is more than enough to keep on going.
So do you ever get scared? Have you been scared during an overnight passage that I don't know about?
No, our overnight passages have been fairly uneventful, you know, which is great.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't been scared. There's been times where I hear things that are, you know, odd noises, or you know, you see something out of the corner of your eye that looks a little strange, but that you know, I can't figure out what it was that I saw. Maybe a dolphin, maybe you know, who knows? But no, I haven't been scared about anything.
Yeah. You ready for the next question?
I'm ready.
All right, next question comes from, our patron, Kelly. All right, Kelly asks, you guys are always prepared and postured. Thanks, Kelly. And full of energy. How do you maintain such a high level of positivity and energy throughout your episodes? Lies. It's all lies,
She
Kelly.
has to pull the positivity out of me. I can be a bit of a gripe and a grouch, and so yeah, she's got to pull the positivity out of me. But Linda is just this way naturally. She's always positive. She's always upbeat. She's always happy, and so that's just her personality, and it comes through on the camera. But yeah, she stays positive a lot of the time, so it's not hard to get that out of her.
Yeah, but there are some times, you know, where we're about to record something or something emotional happens or just not having a good day. And yeah, I mean, we'll be honest, sometimes it does take us a few times to spit the words out of what we want to say because we get frustrated or something's happening. I'm about to get frustrated right now because I'm answering a question and our stupid boom is smacking, but that's fine. This is life. We are sailing. This is real.
Yeah, and I mean, how can we not be positive and happy? We're out here on the ocean living our dream. We wanted to live on a boat, and we're doing it. So yes, of course, we're enjoying ourselves.
Okay, this next question is from SVZ, and it's a little personal of a question. Half of it says, how do you find the social side of cruising, and can we get an update on how you're managing those relationships obstacles you were facing?
Well, the social side we have been struggling with a little bit.
You took the easy answer, huh?
Yeah, I'll take the easy one.
Crap, okay.
On the social side, yeah, we've found some really nice cruisers here that we've been able to socialize with and, you know, keep contact with the crew. And when you meet these people, for us, a lot of them have been cruising in this area for a long time and plan on cruising these areas for a long time. We're kind of just passing through. We're here in the Pacific Mexico side for this season, and then we're moving on. So it's a little different for us. We meet these people, we get their backstory, we talk about sailing stories, we talk about...
invited to dinner? We just got invited to dinner.
We get invited to dinners, and you kind of swap stories and swap your histories, and then it's see you later. Maybe we'll see you up north at an anchorage, or maybe we'll never see you again because we're not cruising this area year after year. A lot of these guys are pretty tight-knit, and they follow each other around, and they know each other from seasons gone by because they're here in this area year after year, and that makes it a little bit easier to socialize. For us, all of our friends are hit and run, and so it makes it a bit of a challenge. We're not always... We haven't had the easiest time making friends because of that, because we don't know people. We're new here. So it's been a bit of a challenge, but yeah, the cruisers here are great. The one thing that I have been a little disappointed in, and it's just something that I've learned to let it roll off me now, is when you talk to some of these people, everybody tends to have their opinions about where to go, what to do, and everybody can...
Backseat sailors.
Yeah, they can be a little bit negative. They're like, oh, don't go there. It's you know, that place, the water's dirty. Oh, don't go there. You don't want to go there. It's too expensive. Oh, don't go there. You know, it's too hot. Yeah, it's don't go anywhere. And
just stay here forever.
My thought is, well, how do you know it's too hot, or how do you know the water's too dirty if you haven't been there yourself? So let me go there, let me experience and figure it out. Otherwise, I'm going to go nowhere.
Our relationship, how are we doing? What's the update? We're doing good. Everything is great. Not great, well, yes, great, you know, typical marital problems, but the issues that we were having before about the communication, the divvying up of the responsibilities, his lack of patience, teaching me things, has gotten a lot better. He's been a lot kinder. I've been a lot more patient. He compliments me on all of the things that I do, including my beauty. Go ahead, show him.
Beautiful, most beautiful first mate I could ever ask for.
See, there you go. So, I mean, the true test is, did I turn around and save him when he fell off the boat?
She turned around. She came and got me. She did not leave me in the
I turned around and got you. So we're doing great, and we really appreciate you guys asking those kinds of questions because it makes us feel like you guys care about us. So we are here to stay.
Love you.
Love you too.
Once again, the winds have shifted on us a bit and they're a little bit more downwind than they were earlier this morning. So I'm gonna take advantage of that downwind angle and we're gonna put the spinnaker up. All right, let's get this head sail wrapped up so that we can pull the spinnaker up. Yeah, we're gonna give you a few more sounds of sailing. We've got the spinnaker up behind us. That's why we look a little bit blue right now. But you're gonna hear the spinnaker whip every now and then as the wind comes through. But that's all part of it. We want to give you that feel of the sailing while we're answering our questions.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're trying to do. Give you the feel of the sailing. All right, so next question comes from Gina. And Gina asks, what are your long-term plans? Where will you be headed after hurricane season? Do you plan to add crew? Invite patrons? So many questions, so many answers. All right, Gina, so our plans long-term is I want to go to the Mediterranean. That's the long story, or that's the short version of what I'm trying to say. But the long version is?
Well, after this hurricane season, we are going to start heading back south and we're going to travel all the way to the Panama Canal. Go down to Panama, cross the canal, and get back into the Caribbean side. We were living in Panama for a number of years on the Caribbean side in Bocas del Toro, and we want to go back there and visit friends and see how our business there is doing and so forth. So that's the short-term goal after hurricane season, is to get down to Panama.
Right.
And then after that, we're going to take our time and eventually make it to the Mediterranean.
Yep.
At which point we will determine whether or not we're really enjoying this boat life and whether we're really enjoying cruising. And if so, we'll continue on around the world. If not, we'll sell it and try another adventure.
Yeah, and we did enjoy having, recently we had crew help us cross over from Mazatlan through the Sea of Cortez to get here to the Baja side. And we really did enjoy having crew. So yes, we absolutely plan on having crew on board, and
it's going to be a long haul to Panama.
Yeah, it's going to be a long haul to Panama, and then once we cross the canal, I mean, there's tons of opportunities in the future for anyone who's interested to come on board. But yes, we would
love to have a patron.
We would love to have a patron. We want to
giveaway or something.
Do a giveaway and give a little bit of a special thank you to our patrons. So you said patron, so I gotta use it to plug it. So if you have not checked out our Patreon, check it out. I will leave the link in the description below. Thank you to the patrons who are our patrons, and if you're interested in becoming a patron, yes, we will soon do a giveaway where we will invite you on the boat and crew with us here on LVG. This next question is about Rigby, and it comes from Lockwood, and they ask, what are Rigby's routines? What are the things Rigby struggles with the most? Docking, etc. You guys have seen, good question, by the way. You guys have seen, if you've watched our previous episodes, a lot of the ins and outs that we deal with Rigby. Kurt has to take her to the beach every day, in the mornings and in the afternoons. And it's been a struggle trying to find a place here in the Sea of Cortez to drop anchor, because there's a lot of national parks that don't allow pets, so that's been a struggle. But yeah, there's a lot of struggles that come with having a dog. Kurt?
Yes, there are, but she's worth it. And there's lots and lots and lots of cruisers out here with pets and with dogs, so it can be done. It's nice to have a companion on board, but she's a pain in the butt. She absolutely refuses to use the restroom on the boat, so therefore I have to take her to land several times a day, and she just has to hold it, because I'm not going to go all day long every day, so she has to hold it. We do a morning and an afternoon run, and she seems fine with that. If she needs to go to the restroom during the day, she has a pad on the boat that she's welcome to use. She just doesn't like to do it. As far as getting on and off the boat, she's a champ. I mean, she jumps right on the paddleboard. She has perfect balance. She jumps right on the dinghy, jumps off the dinghy, and even when she goes swimming, she jumps right off the back of the boat into the water, swims around for as long as she wants, and then she can actually climb up the ladder by herself.
We didn't teach her that.
No, she just learned that on her own.
She just learned that on her own, yeah.
So she is a champ boat dog, but the biggest problem is that she refuses to go to the bathroom. If she'd just go to the bathroom on here, then everything would be really nice. And
All right, so moving on, this next question is from Clive _ stainless steel Womble. And before I read this question to you, Clive, if you're watching, your comments are so awesome. Like, they're always so detailed. You always give us the best advice, and I just want to say thanks so much, because a lot of the things that you've written, we actually do follow, and all the advice you're, given, we read everybody's comments, and we sometimes take them to heart a little too much. But Clive, you're my MVP for this episode today, really. So your question is, given the freedom from budget constraints, what modifications would you most prefer to make on your existing boat, and why, assuming that they are not patently obvious? I think that's a good question for Kurt.
Okay. Well, there's a few things. Actually, we love our boat.
Yeah.
It performs very well. I really don't have any complaints about it. It gets us from A to B, and it gets us there fairly quickly, and it's pretty easy to operate. So on the whole, I'm very happy with the boat. If there was something that I would upgrade, it would probably be some of the systems of the boat that we require to live. Like, for instance, our water maker. Both the water maker and the air conditioner need the generator to run. They're wired to 220 volts, and our inverter is only a 120 volt.
Yeah.
And so I don't like that. I would like to upgrade our water maker so that it would run on either 12 volts or 120 volt. I would like a much more efficient water maker, because honestly, if the generator goes down, if we have any issues with the generator, then our water maker's out. And the same with the air conditioner. I don't want to turn on the generator to run the AC. If our batteries are at 100% and it's really hot and I just want to cool down for 30 minutes, I'd love to be able to just switch the AC on for a short while and then turn it off, but I can't do that without turning on the generator. So those are two things systems-wise in the boat that I would love to upgrade if I had the chance. I would also add a little bit more solar power so that we didn't have to worry about charging the batteries on cloudy days, but that hasn't been a real big issue.
I want floaties. I want floaties of all sizes. When we go and anchor, we go next to these big mega yachts, and they always got these cool big floaties that they just sit and lounge on. That's not a boat thing, but like, that would be awesome. And if I had to pick something that was like lavish, I would want a washing machine. Okay, fish on. Fish on, and this time we're gonna be a lot safer than we were last time, and we think it is a mahi again. So that's awesome. Yeah, last fish for the next couple of weeks, because our freezer, if we catch this guy, it's officially gonna be full.
Nice and tethered in, got the life jacket on. Today was a little rougher anyways, so I would have been taking extra precautions because we've got the wind is up and we're moving pretty quickly. But yeah, we got safe and we were able to bring in 2 fish at the same time. Threw 1 bonito back, we've got 1 mahi for the freezer, and that's gonna fill us up. So we're gonna put the fishing poles up for the day.
We did it, great job.
All right. Today has been an awesome day of sailing. We have had the winds at our back most of the day. Right now they are directly at our back. So we are sailing wing on wing, running downwind, and we are going about 8 to 9 knots. So we are really ticking off the miles today. But that's very comfortable with it being downwind. We're just rolling with the waves. You can hardly tell we're moving.
Yeah, I took a nap.
She had to take a nap.
Yeah, I always take naps. All right, so the next question comes from Sarah, and Sarah says, do you think YouTube channels are a good and fair illustration of the realities of cruising, and does it represent the majority of cruisers out there who don't YouTube? That was some strong winds. All right, so yes, I guess I'll answer some of that and you do the other one. So I think YouTube channels show a really good illustration of when things are good. Because it's a lot easier to pick up the camera and record when something exciting is happening or something good is happening, more than if something not exciting is happening or if there's a serious situation that's occurring. Because unless you have like an editing team or someone there who's constantly filming you, it's really hard for you to capture all those moments just naturally all the time. So it's a 50-50 kind of thing.
Right. The days that we have scheduled for videoing, we really schedule them out, and so we know, okay, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to do some videoing.
We don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to dedicate it to turn the cameras on.
Right. so it's a little more structured, although while the camera's on, we try to give you as much reality as we can. It's a little more structured than rather having the camera on all the time and showing you things. There's a lot of monotony throughout the day, doing dishes, cleaning the boat, napping, working, us editing films or her teaching classes that we don't get, that you don't see, but that's the real life. That's a lot of the cruising life. As far as the cruisers that aren't YouTubing, we find that they probably do more of what you see on film than we do, because a lot of them don't have jobs. They're either retired or they're living off passive income or whatever the case may be. They seem to have a little bit more free time to get out there and go free dive and go snorkel, go spend time on the beach,
hike,
and do more boat projects, whatever it might be, but and socialize and so forth. So they seem to have a little bit more time to do the things that you see on camera, while we spend more time actually working.
Right. So yes, the things you see on camera are a reality of real cruisers, because the real cruisers are actually doing that stuff more than we are.
One thing that I'd like to add to it as well, one part of cruising life that I spend a lot of time on, and it really doesn't translate on camera, we don't really spend that much time documenting it, is just how much pre-planning we do, as far as checking weather, as far as looking where we're going to go and making sure, do they have groceries, do they have provisioning, do they have fuel, do they have propane. There's a lot of things that we have to think of. Where's the next place we can stop to get packages shipped to us, to get parts, and there's a lot of things, a lot of time that we spend planning just how our life's going to go, because when you're on the ocean, planning is really important, and that doesn't get translated through the camera, I don't feel, or
recorded as often.
So that's something that you'll find in cruising life that you may not see in YouTube.
Yep, that's right. Okay, next question comes from Francois, and Francois asks, do you plan on having children one day?
Well, I have children. From my first marriage, I have 2 children, and they're adult children. I have a son, Wes, that's 28, a daughter, Conley, that's 25, and if you go back and look at some of our episodes, you will have seen them on these episodes, and they both live in Texas, in Austin, Texas. As far as the 2 of us, we aren't planning on having kids ourselves. You want to go into that a little bit? Why?
Yeah, just a little bit, because it's not like my favorite thing to talk about. But long story short, I have endometriosis. I'm not going to go into it. You can Google it if you're super curious about it. But the short version is that it's very difficult for me to either have children, and if I do end up getting pregnant, I run the risk of, having like ectopic pregnancies, and it's a whole thing. I have to do fertility treatments and.
Whoa.
Wow, yeah, that was Poseidon saying, you don't have to answer that. No, let's finish answering the question. Yeah, it would take a lot of fertility treatments and a lot of emotional turmoil to get pregnant, so we just decided
not to. We're going to focus our energy on future grandkids and nieces and nephews and all those kids that we can come get on the boat, spoil them, and then send them home.
That's right. My child right now and forever will be Rigby. So I guess if you're really asking, are you guys going to turn into a sailing channel where there's a bunch of rugrats running around? No, we will not be that sailing channel. Moving on to the next question. This question is actually from a fellow YouTuber, Teal, from Onboard Lifestyle SV Basic. Hi, Teal. Thanks for playing. And his question is, what is the most significant thing you learned since you started cruising?
Wow.
I know.
Answer that first?
I don't know. I'm nervous.
This is our first time living aboard and doing full-time cruising, and I'd say the one thing that I didn't put enough significance in is how tight-knit and how much you need the cruising community. There's a lot of things you don't know when you get on a boat. There's a lot of things you don't know when you start cruising, and the wealth of knowledge out there in the cruising community is great, and people love to share.
Even from the backseat boaters.
Yes, and many times you need the help from your fellow cruisers to get yourselves out of jams. It's really, when you're out here on the ocean, you're very self-sufficient, but you also really rely on your fellow cruisers and that community, and I didn't realize how significant and how much I would be relying on their knowledge, their insights, their opinions, and their help. And so that's probably the most significant thing that I wasn't aware of before I started cruising.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. For me, the most significant thing that I've learned is how much communication is important between you and I. Like, not just like marriage, you know, communication, but just like, this is a job. Like, this is, sailing in itself is a full-time job. Constantly have to be talking to each other, making sure what we're doing. You know, if I take a nap, I gotta let him know, hey, I'm gonna take a nap, so that he knows that nobody else is gonna be watching the boat except for him. It's just constant. You know, we have to be in sync all the time, and I mean, it puts marriage to another level, and I just didn't think that it would be so much, but I mean, it's okay. It's making us stronger every day, but yeah, that is definitely something that I've learned. We made it alive and well to our next anchorage. So we are going to finish off this Q&A with the last round of questions. If you made it this far and you're wondering, did she pick my question? You're about to find out. Okay, next question is from calm.mullen, M-U-L-L-A-N. Sorry if I didn't say that right. Your question is, what is your favorite force of wind when sailing, especially as La Vida Gypsea is one, quite a substantial vessel, and two, she's a catamaran? I think that's definitely a you question.
Well, I can't accurately answer that question because we've had this boat for 10 months now, and in those 10 months, the strongest winds that we have encountered while under sail is force 5, which, you know, is 19 to 22 or so, and that's it, you know, and we really haven't had any real rough sea states, any, you know, gale winds or anything like that. So force 5 is as high as we've gotten, but to be honest, I really love those force 5 winds. Anything from 17 up to 22, I love those winds because they're still very manageable. For the most part, you can have your full sails up. You don't have to worry about, you know, putting reefs in the sail, and you can get into those double-digit speeds with you know, your speed over ground. So I like the force 5. Can this catamaran handle force 6, force 7, force 8? Sure, I'm sure it can, and maybe once we get into those situations, I'll find that this thing really wakes up and takes off, and we really like it. But I don't know yet. We haven't experienced it, so we will let you know as soon as we do.
All right, next question is from Dowie. This is terrible. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'll put your name on the bottom, but you submitted this question, and the question is, what is the most embarrassing thing that's happened on the boat that hasn't been filmed?
You want to take this one first, or?
Anything that involves cleaning the head, like, and poop. I mean, you
haven't had to do that.
Yeah, but you have, and it's pretty embarrassing. It's gross, and it smells real bad, and we have to, like, step outside. It's disgusting, but that's all I can think of, like the poopy moments or anything that we don't usually
unfortunately
film.
Some of my snafus, including yesterday's, get on film, so I've had some pretty embarrassing moments on film. I'd say we haven't really had that many embarrassing moments over the last year.
I broke the refrigerator and I filmed that.
Yeah, but I think I don't like getting in trouble. I don't like getting called out for things, and I think probably one of the most embarrassing moments for myself that didn't get filmed was when we first got the boat and we moved Rigby on board, and we were in the fancy Paradise Village Marina here in Nueva Vallarta. We left the dog on the boat thinking that she would be, you know, fine sitting on the boat and be content, and we got back to the boat after a short trip to the store, and the dog is running up and down the docks in the marina, actually got onto somebody else's boat. We got called out by the security guards on that. Yeah, so that was embarrassing. Then to put the cherry on top, we put her inside the boat thinking, well, she'll be okay inside the boat. She managed to squeeze out through a porthole and get out and run around the marina again. This time they caught her and tied her up to the boat and left us a note, you know, and so we got in trouble twice for Rigby running up and down the marina while we weren't there, and that was very embarrassing for me because, you know, I don't like getting called out like that.
Well, yeah, and like in the situation, you're right, like Paradise Village Marina and Puerto Vallarta is like a really nice marina, and yeah, they gave us a little letter at first. They're like, it's okay to have your dog here, but these are the rules. And then when she escaped twice, they were like, once again, these are the rules. And we're like, we're sorry.
Rigby lost her privileges, so now when we go somewhere, she has to stay down in our room where she can't escape, or she hasn't escaped yet. So, yep, there you go.
That's most embarrassing. All right, so those were the top questions that we picked, but like we said, we had a lot of other questions. He's got a few of his little side favorites that if you guys want to stick around and continue listening to, we're
bonus
just gonna
round.
Yeah, bonus round. Ready?
Real quick.
Real quick. So bonus round question, I'm not gonna say who it was, I'm just gonna ask him is, what is your favorite part of living on the boat and what is your least favorite?
My favorite part of living on a boat, I just love the connection with nature. I love being rocked to sleep with the sounds and the sights. I mean, it's very peaceful. We're out on our own. I really love being in touch with nature and being out on my own. My least favorite part, maybe it's just the lack of ability to get things. Like I said, you know, we have to really plan when we're going to grocery stores or when we're going to hardware stores or whatever. There's nothing close. So it's a bit of an inconvenience to get things, and I guess that's the least favorite part.
All right, next question. How often do you provision? We try to provision at least once a week when we are in a town or an area where we can get things easily. We go once a week just to get off the boat, you know, and provision. Lately, because we are cruising around areas that there are no grocery stores or anything like that, I had to provision for about 2 months worth of food in the last stop that we were at, and we've been catching fish, and every little pueblo that we pass, we try to grab some eggs or some, you know, dish detergent or something quick to keep going. We're not getting to our next stop for several more weeks. So yeah, if it's on a normal time where I can get some things once a week, every weekend we'll do it, and if not, we try to at least have a month or 2 months worth of food on board. And that is a wrap for the Q&A episode. We had a lot of fun reading through these and picking these out. Again, thanks so much guys for participating. If we left anybody out or if anybody has any extra questions that they want to ask, go ahead and leave them in the comments below and we will get to them as fast as we can. But I think it's time to wrap this episode up. So
I'm tired.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you patrons for everything that you guys do for us and for putting the wind in our sails. And actually during our sail we got a patron, so
all right,
patron shout out time. Danielle, you are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Danielle.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We're so excited. Give me your address, send it to me so that I can send you your free LVG swag. And if you guys want some LVG swag too and you want to be cool like Danielle and get an awesome shout out, check out our Patreon. Other than that, like it, smash that subscribe button, and we will see you guys next week.
See you next week.